Coach, heading into the bye week, what's kind of job one for you guys to kind of get cleaned up before you prepare for Alabama?
We have to be as sharp fundamentally as we can, really focus on fundamentals and details, and I mean, really some of those things that have been exposed that we're not as sharp at as we need to be. And, that's the thing. It's just complete work, and the better we are with those details, the more consistent we have a chance to be.
John?
Hey, Mike. Just wanted to see if there was an update on Kylan Hill's status with the team.
No, there's no update. He's still unavailable dealing with personal issues, so, yeah.
And a quick follow-up to that. Going back to the quarterback situation, you said after the game against A&M, you'll take the bye to kind of evaluate and see between, Will and KJ. What's kind of that process going to be like for you between those guys? Are they going to split reps, and what do you really want to see out of either of them to win that job?
No, they'll split reps, and we'll see who moves the offense the best,
We'll go to Ben.
Hey, Mike, was just curious. I know on Saturday, I think there were a couple of protesters that ran onto the field in the middle of the game. Were you able to see that at all? What was your kind of reaction to it?
I didn't see much of it. Don't know what was being protested. It didn't know there was even a protest. I don't know much about it. Maybe you can elaborate on it, because I hadn't thought about it until just now. And yeah, I did see some action out there between quarters or something, or timeout, something. Anyway, I was kind of preoccupied.
Joel?
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Garrett announced today that he was entering the portal. I was just curious what those conversations were like with Garrett Schrader, and just did you have any kind of message for him before he entered the portal?
No, not really. I think Garrett wants to play quarterback, and we wish him the best. I mean, he was a good teammate, and we enjoyed having him.
Steve?
Coach, when you went back and reviewed the film, I mean, obviously things look better in hindsight, but after you reviewed it, what kind of jumped out to you, both good and bad?
The good is I thought we played hard, but we, we're again inconsistent and sloppy. I think that, you got A&M's a real experienced team, and they played like they were an experienced team. And then we have some inexperience, and we played like that too. It was a fairly close game until the end, and, we had a chance to win it. We squandered some opportunities, no question about that. And, we have to shore that up and sharpen it up.
Joel?
When you go back and look at the film from this past week, and not just this past week, but the last couple of weeks, looking at the offensive line, how do you break that down, the struggles up front, and is it a deal where the splits with this new offense for the guys is kind of confusing them a little bit, or is it just something else altogether? Just how do you break that down?
Well, I think we did a couple things. One, we missed assignments. We missed way too many assignments. I think we've got to communicate better, and I think this week is definitely important to us to do that, because we have to sharpen our communication. I think there's way too much indecision and lack of communication with that group, or there was the last game, because we have straight up run-throughs, and we have people there to do it. So I think we have to communicate it. I think we have to relax up there, communicate it, and do our job. And we didn't do it cohesively. And the thing is what's most frustrating is we did throughout the week, and then all of a sudden we go to the game, and all that breaks down, and we play frantic.
Tyler?
Yeah, Mike, going back to Schrader, I know you said he lagged behind KJ and Will for most of camp, obviously, and he was losing that competition. Was that just as simple as him not being a good fit for your offense? And if that's the case, what made him, I don't want to call him a bad fit, but a worse fit than those two guys?
Well, they outperformed him, and then we felt like he'd make a great tight end. Still think that. but he's got other interests. So, like I say, we wish him the best. I mean, I don't really have any comments on him. I mean, we wish him the best, and if he decides he wants to be a quarterback, I hope that works out for him.
We'll go to Brian.
Mike, when you talk about things going good in practice and then not translating in the game, what is something that you as the head coach can do to sort of bridge that gap?
We have to just keep coaching them. Just keep coaching them. It's one thing. It starts out. Do you understand it in the meeting? Can you draw it on the board? Then can you do it when you walk through? Then can you do it in practice against scouts? And then can you do it during the game? And I think that we just haven't taken that other step.
We'll go back to Ben.
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like Will got through his progressions a little bit quicker on Saturday than KJ. How much of that is just, his familiarity with this offense and kind of the type of offense that he ran in high school? And I guess how much did that help him in an off season when, you guys didn't get spring ball and maybe some of those extra practices that you do normally get?
That's difficult to say, but I think he's ahead of schedule for a freshman that's just gotten here. I don't think there's any question about that. I did think he operated efficiently. I think, one thing is he keeps things simple and doesn't try to make too much happen, and hope he continues down that path.
We'll go back to Steve.
Coach, some people suggest that you kind of tiptoe around this thing and kind of tailor an offense perhaps around the talent that you have. But you seem to just kind of do what you do. What's your philosophy about that, especially when you take over a new program?
I guess I don't totally understand the question. We've got an awful lot of people that haven't played, so there isn't a lot that's been tailored around them specifically in an awful lot of cases. But learning something new, I mean, that's always a challenge. I think we have two major challenges: teaching something new, and then also elevating the experience of some of the guys we have. And the easiest way is to get older, but the trouble is we don't have time to get older. So as coaches, we need to be as specific and clear as we possibly can in order to get the best performance out of these guys that we can.
Joel.
Just kind of a general question, but obviously with 3 straight losses and, maybe with whatever's going on with Kylan and things and just all of it together, just kind of what's the general consensus, the general mood right now at practice, in the locker room? Where's kind of everybody's spirits and their head at right now?
Yeah, we seem pretty good. We're trying to, the biggest thing is eliminate all distractions and just stick together and work hard, and we've been doing that. And we got quite a few that are really excited about the fact that they're, finally it's their time in their career to start. So there's a natural excitement around that. Okay, well, so they're excited about it. But we're still working towards the results to get even more excited about, because right now, we don't have those kind of results. We aren't consistently cohesive out there.
We've got time for a few more. We'll go to Tyler.
I know you said after the game the other night that this might be the most you've seen one of your offenses struggle, but I'm curious, other times that your offenses struggle, were you able to see drastic improvements within the course of a season, or do you kind of expect this to be a thing where it might be an uphill battle, all the way throughout the rest of this season, and you just kind of figure some things out, going into the next one?
No, I think we'll improve, and I think that we have improved. The other thing is, though, is other teams have improved as well, and then I think that we'll continue to improve. Where that takes us, I'm not sure, but all anybody has is their best. I mean, as coaches, we have to coach our very best. As players, we got to play our very best, and it's really about as simple as that. And and then if we all do that, then we'll keep improving. And if we continue to improve, then we'll get better from one practice to the next, one play to the next, one year to the next, so it goes. And, that's all we really have control over is is just worrying about ourselves and being the best. If you want to improve the team as a coach or a player, improve yourself. So, and that's what I think we all need to do.
We have time for two more. We'll go Dalton.
I was looking at recruiting today and noticed that the upcoming class, top 35, top 40. How do you feel like this your first class in Missouri State's kind of shaping up?
Hard to say. I think there's a lot of recruiting to go, and it's a unique circumstance with, the rules on visiting and that type of thing being what they are. So, we got to keep plugging away. And I think, like I say, I think the best is probably ahead. I don't know what's going to happen with the rules, the visits, and all the rest with recruiting and with regard to contact, because that's the most powerful thing you have in recruiting is contacts and visits. And so, the strongest resource you have, we don't have right now. But our guys have worked together hard on the recruiting effort, and we definitely need to have some good recruits in here.
Gotcha. And obviously, talent's probably the biggest thing. But whenever you're recruiting players, what do you look at specifically? What are you looking for when you're recruiting players?
Well, you look at the talent and the measurables. I ignore all the charts. Typically, I'm not even aware of them unless someone tells me. We look at their talent base. We look at what they can do within the scheme that they're asked to do, and then how we project them in what we're going to ask them to do. And then the other thing that I think is often overlooked is toughness and their commitment to playing football. Just because the guy's really talented, toughness and real commitment to being a great football player, I think is important, and I think it's really undervalued too.
And our last one will be John.
Mike, you mentioned on Saturday that this is like the third program that you've taken over, and obviously, when you take over a new program, there's a lot of adjusting and all that stuff. How would you kind of compare this experience of taking a program over compared to your other few, and how is this one different?
Generally, it's typical. The biggest difference would be all the distractions with regard to the lack of spring. Diminished off season, and then the stop and start as far as what we're able to do, and really communicating and getting to know a team and identifying who can do what, and all those things, because anytime you're trying to execute something, you have to choreograph in football 11 guys, and that's where it gets tough, is because it requires a number of reps, and that's the thing is, but it's always been tough when you start, and then there's always a core that buy in that'll develop and grow into great players, and there's a certain number that don't, and generally speaking, we wish them the best, and go on and get guys that buy into what we're going to do.
All right. Thank you, Coach Leach.
All right. Thanks.